10 years ago, I bought my first camera, this Canon T3i, with the aspirations of being able to make a living with it. And today, Canon, among other companies like LG, Hyundai, and DJI, are all video clients of mine, allowing me to make videos as my full-time job. But that process of going from beginner to pro isn't an easy one, and I've made my fair share of business mistakes along the way, and I've witnessed hundreds of my students making these mistakes every day as well. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the top 10 business mistakes that I see videographers and filmmakers make. I usually title these types of videos Top Beginner Mistakes. This subject, however, applies to more than just rookies. If you aren't making at least 6 figures a year in your video business, then you're probably making at least half of these mistakes. And if you're not making at least 7 figures a year, then you're making at least 2 or 3 of these mistakes. So rookie or not, if you want to increase your income potential as a video professional, then take some notes. Now, I personally still don't run a perfect video business, but I have gone from my first year of making less than $10,000 and barely scraping by to year 10, having generated over $4 million among several revenue streams. And I don't share these numbers to brag. I share my growth to educate others on the potential they may be leaving on the table. Now, keep in mind, this is revenue, not profit. But the point is, all of these sources of revenue have stemmed from that original T3i that I bought 10 years ago and the business practices that I've applied throughout that journey. So if you'd like to improve your business skills and income potential, link below to join Video Business Pro, or it's also included in our full-time filmmaker course as well. But let's go ahead and dive in now to our top 10 business mistakes. Mistake number 1 that I see many video professionals make is they have no vision or business plan. In the book E-Myth Revisited, which I highly recommend you read, it teaches that there are 3 main roles played within a small business: an entrepreneur, a manager, and a technician. The entrepreneur is the one who provides the vision, creativity, and energy that drives the business. The manager translates that vision into reality through planning and systems, and the technician is the one who carries out or produces the product or service. Most video professionals are technicians only. They shoot and edit the videos. They create the product. But unless you obtain some managerial and entrepreneurial skills, your business will quickly plateau and have a hard time growing. But unlike a technician, an entrepreneur has a vision of the future and then works to align the present with that vision, whereas a technician focuses on the present and hopes that the future will be much the same. If you want your business to succeed long-term or scale to higher income levels, then you have to learn how to take breaks from working in your business and regularly take time to work on your business. The number 1 key I've found to scaling a business is quantification. So create a vision, a goal for where you want to be in 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and then set yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily plans for how you're going to achieve that. My vision was to be able to retire by the time I was 40 so that I could spend more time doing things I cared about, which for me is family and faith. So I sat down with my financial advisor, made a plan, and looked at how much money I would need to make every year, every month in order to reach that goal. I have a strong why. Why do I go to work every day? If you don't have a strong why, then when the going gets rough, and it will, then you'll very easily take your foot off the gas pedal. There have been many times that I've gotten complacent and thought, oh man, I'm making plenty of money now, I can just relax. But then I'd see that I'm only halfway to my goal, my vision of being able to retire early, and so I'd choose to go back to work rather than waste time with video games or golfing or scrolling through TikTok or whatever it is that tempts you to do something else that doesn't align with your vision of the future. If you want to be highly successful in business, you have to be willing to sacrifice what you want now for what you want most. And obviously, it's still important to keep a healthy work, family, and personal balance, but don't act like there aren't a bunch of time wasters that you can't cut out of your life right now. Which brings me to mistake number 2, and that is poor time management. I have a whole 20-minute video just on time management inside the course, but probably the biggest mistake I see video professionals make on this topic is consuming more than they create. Here on YouTube, I'm often blown away with how much time some of you put into commenting, complaining about, and correcting other people's creations. I always think, man, if you put that much time and energy into creating your own videos instead of watching and ragging on someone else's videos, not only would you probably be a millionaire by now, but you wouldn't have any time left over in your day day to consume, critique, and complain because you'd be too busy creating. If you find yourself constantly commenting something negative or critical, or even just for fun, on other people's YouTube videos, maybe consider creating your own video and creating the content that that person failed to create in the way that you thought they should have created it. That way, you'll add some value to the world and add some value to your wallet. And you'll also spare that person the negativity. And some of you aren't even being negative. You're just genuinely trying to learn and get inspired, so you spend many hours watching YouTube videos or scrolling through Instagram or TikTok posts. And to a degree, it's good to get ideas and find inspiration, but I advise people to try and create more than they consume every day. So let's say you spend 2 to 3 hours a day watching YouTube videos, films, and social media scrolling. Then you better be spending at least 4 or 5 hours that day shooting videos, editing videos, marketing yourself, networking with other video professionals, and strategizing on your business. One of the easiest ways to overcome creative ruts, lack of motivation, self-doubt is to get off your phone, turn off your notifications, and get out and create something. Anything. I don't care if you have no clients right now. Go create a spec ad for a client that you wished you had, so you have something new to put in your portfolio and improve your skills in the process. I attribute a lot of my business success to the fact that I learned how to manage my time wisely. I feel like I can get done in a day or two what takes most people a week, simply because I've learned principles like the momentum zone, the 80-20 rule, and high-value activities that keep me in my most optimally productive state for most of the day, every day. Time is money, value it, and manage it wisely. Moving on to mistake number 3 is cold calling or cold emailing. If I had a nickel for every time I heard someone say, well, I sent out a bunch of cold emails, or I did a bunch of cold calling, I'm reaching out to so many people and businesses and no one wants to hire me. If this is your only form of marketing, chances are you're going to struggle. That's not to say cold calling can't work. It can. It's just not very effective. So what can you do instead? I recently jumped on a phone call with one of our more successful full-time filmmaker members, Ryan Weber, and you can see that full 40-minute interview inside the course. But the way he got his first initial clients wasn't through emailing random businesses. No, he found a business in his community, a law firm, did some research on that business, did some research on their competitors, put together a presentation of what their competitors were doing well that they could do better in regards to video, and then made a connection with someone who knows someone at that firm, and then had this trusted associate introduce him to the firm rather than going in cold, and then set up an in-person meeting to pitch them on how his video services could help them increase revenue. And he, of course, landed the client. But notice how much more effort he put into trying to land that client than just sending off a generic mass email to businesses' customer service lines. And if you can't find a connection to the business, then just walk into the business and start communicating face-to-face with people that work there. Which do you think would yield better results? A cold email to Crumble Cookie's corporate support email asking them to hire you, or walking into a local Crumble Cookie store offering to shoot them a free promo video to earn their business? So where possible, do whatever you can to find connections to warm up your cold leads, or even better, get off your tush and spend a couple hours creating a sample of what you can do for them. This is actually how I landed LG as a client. I posted a video on my YouTube channel on my own time with my own dime, comparing the iPhone to the Red camera to show how much you can do with an iPhone, and a year later, LG saw that video and hired me to do the same thing with a new phone that they were about to launch. I landed LG as a client by doing free spec work and posting it on a free platform called YouTube. So point is, quit relying on cold calling, get off your tush, and start making content and making connections. And this brings me to mistake number 4, and that is poor networking efforts. I jumped on another call with Ryan Gallego, another FTF member who's doing around $700,000 a year with his video business, and I asked him what the key was to getting started. And he pointed to networking as the main way he landed his initial clients. In the call, he goes over different services he uses to get clients, but the main way he got his start was by going to in-person networking events and offering all the business owners at these events a free logo animation. So he'd get their personal email addresses, have them send him their logo, then he'd just drag and drop their logo into a Fiverr template, send it back to them, and they were stoked, and that opened the door to discuss other video services he could offer. And after a couple events like this, he had a few hundred emails collected, put in a few hours of logo animations, and landed a handful of clients. When I first started my video business, I was going to school at SUU, and it was my first year, so I didn't know anyone, and I'm also introverted, so it wasn't easy for me to just start networking. But I did have a friend named Lance Lowry who had been there for several years and was very social and very well connected. And And so I asked him to introduce me to the gymnastics coach and the event coordinators and some people at the administration offices. And through that one connection, Lance, he was able to hook me up with a lot of my first gigs that allowed me to start building my business off of. So first off, huge shout out to Lance. But secondly, this shows the importance of making effort to expand your network. Everyone knows someone who needs a video. And that's just one way to network. There are so many Facebook groups out there you can join or websites you can sign up for to start building relationships with potential video clients or just other video professionals. Through our FTF Facebook group of over 20,000 people, many of them have built relationships in that group that have turned into even business partnerships. And we just launched our new VidLead search engine where you can network with other video professionals and hire them for your shoots or respond to job postings to work on their shoots. A lot of my early gigs came from the fact that I networked with Devin Supertramp, who then opened me up to his whole network of other video professionals, many of which would end up hiring me over the next years. And shout out to Devin for bringing me into his network. But too many video pros make the mistake of having a mindset of compete rather than collaborate. Don't look at other video pros in your area as competition, look at them as collaborators. This is an industry that often requires multiple people on a project. So if you build a strong network of other video pros, not only will you have people you can call on to help you execute your projects, but you'll often get hired by them to assist on their projects. The saying is true that it's not what you know, it's who you know. And this leads me to mistake number 5, and that is having an attitude of what's in it for me? Putting money before relationships, lacking one of the biggest keys to my success, and that is to add value first. It's called the law of reciprocity. In fact, I'm using the law of reciprocity with you right now. Because of the free value I'm giving you in this video, a few hundred of you will feel indebted to me for the knowledge that I'm giving away for free and will return that value by purchasing one of my courses. And even if you don't purchase one of my courses, I make AdSense and get sponsorships off of these videos that I make for YouTube because of the fact that you're viewing it. So I get value either way. But if I wasn't willing to give away some of my content for free on YouTube, then I wouldn't get all that value in return. So many people don't understand this, so they hold all their cards close to their chest and they're not going to do anything for anyone until they pay them. That is the worst attitude. It's so toxic. Get it out of your system if you want to be successful in business. And the way I apply this principle with video work is what I call free to feed. Be willing to offer your services for free to add value first, to show a client what you can do for their business. And if you do a good job, they will often hire you to do more just like it. And even if they don't personally hire you after that free project, you now have a spec video that you can use to advertise yourself to all their competitors. Like I mentioned with my iPhone video that landed me LG. And this was how I landed my first real estate client too. We contacted a luxury listing agent and said, hey, we'd love to do a free video for you to earn your business for future listings. And of course he said, what could a free video hurt? So we made the video for him, he loved it, and hired us to do dozens more over the following years. And at this point, I always get a few people saying, you should never do work for free. Then the client will expect you to work for free forever. That only becomes a problem if you make mistake number 6, and that is failing to set clear expectations. Oh my goodness, this is a big one. Communication. Learn how to communicate up front to ensure that you know your client's expectations and they know yours. For example, don't say, hi business, I'd like to make a free video for you because I'm really nice. Instead, you could say something like, hi business, I'd like to make a free video for you to earn your business for future videos. Normally, I charge $5,000 for a 1-day shoot and a 3-minute edit, but I'm willing to do this first one for free. And if this video increases your revenue more than the amount I charge, would you be interested in hiring me for more? Yeah, of course. Can you see the difference there? The first one has all these hidden agendas and expectations that weren't communicated, and the second one is laid out so there was no doubt what the goal of the relationship was: to make more money for the business and to land more future video gigs for you. This mistake also happens once the job is landed. Many video pros don't bother diving into the specific details of what the client wants and needs for their video. They just take their generic instruction at face value and start shooting. And then they're shocked when they deliver the final video and the client isn't happy with it. If you fail to ask the right questions to understand what they were expecting the final video to look like, then their expectations probably aren't going to align with what you delivered. In the course, I share a big long list of questions that I ask every client, and I role play how to set proper expectations so that your client is stoked on the process of working with you and how the the final product turns out. Which brings me to mistake number 7, and that is giving a client a poor experience and execution. The two principles I teach from this mistake are be a pleasure to work with and over-deliver. I sat down in an interview with Adam Grumbo, an FTF member who focuses on wedding films and is doing months as high as $50,000 a month. And when I asked him what his secret sauce was, he said, be a pleasure to work with. Most of his gigs come from word of mouth because every project he does, he focuses on giving a client a great experience. It's not just about the final product, the final video. If you're nasty and grumpy and don't take feedback well to the different edits you do, not only is a client not going to want to work with you ever again, they're definitely not going to refer you to other people. Whereas if you make every step of the process a joy, from the negotiating, setting expectations, pre-production, production, post-production, taking feedback well, and doing it all in a kind and timely fashion, then you are going to create what Peter Voogd calls raving fans. And make sure to check out Peter Voogd for awesome entrepreneur mindset advice. He was one of the main drivers that inspired me to quit my 9-to-5 and start my own business, so shout out to Peter. But when you turn every client you work with into a raving fan, the next time they're having a conversation with someone that says, oh man, I'm looking for someone to do a video for me, they're gonna say, ooh, you should hire Adam Grumbo. He was amazing to work with, and the final video turned out great. And the second part is, once you've set expectations, to make sure that you at least meet those expectations, but I always try to over-deliver. Whatever you settled on for the expectation, try and one-up it. If they paid for a package of a 2-minute edit, give them a 2-minute edit and a 15-second Instagram post. It will only take you an extra hour or two to go above and beyond, but if you exceed that expectation, you will create that raving fan, which will generate more work. I personally try and do this all the time with my full-time filmmaker business. I promise a certain amount of content that exists in the course, but I'm constantly adding new content and new mini courses because I want my customers to feel like they got more than what they paid for. And in return, they tell their friends that they got great value from this course, which leads me to have more paying customers. There's a reason full-time filmmaker generates millions of dollars a year. And one of the biggest reasons is because I strive to over-deliver, which leads to raving fans, which leads to them recommending the product to other people, which leads to more paying customers. And the cycle continues. So don't underestimate the importance of good customer service and fulfillment. Be a pleasure to work with, over-deliver. Moving on to mistake number 8 is poor marketing efforts. We've hit on this a little already with being lazy and doing cold calling instead of getting out there and making spec ads and setting up connections and networking and doing stuff in person. But one of the biggest mistakes I see video pros making is they aren't posting enough on social media. And I don't mean making TikToks of yourself being a comedian or dancing with your camera. That might help too, but I mean marketing your videos themselves. Showing off the videos you're creating. Show people what you're capable of. Every time I post a video on YouTube or Instagram, I get job offers from companies. I don't even advertise that I shoot weddings, but just from one wedding video that I posted on YouTube, I've gotten hundreds of wedding video inquiries. Take advantage of the power of social media, specifically YouTube, because it's a video search engine, and post all of your work online with good headlines and keywords so that the world can discover you. Besides the first year or so of starting up my business, I haven't had to seek out clients. I've always had more than I can take on because every time I post a video, I get more job inquiries than I can even handle. So it's just a matter of picking and choosing which jobs sound the most fun to me. And we have a whole separate mini course in Full-Time Filmmaker that teaches my YouTube strategies, but I'm always shocked at how few video pros take advantage of the power of YouTube to build their businesses. Other marketing efforts would include setting up Google My Business so you can get discovered there as well. And Adam Grumbo left this awesome message to a struggling FTF student to clue him into the fact that there are so many things you can be doing to market yourself every day, but it does take effort. And effort is also a key to not making mistake number 9, and that is your portfolio sucks. If you do all the things mentioned in this video, but you just don't know how to film and edit videos very well, or you do, but you just don't have very many videos in your portfolio to be able to show clients what you're capable of, then you're probably not gonna land or keep very many clients. Far too often, I see people sending emails to clients without even sending a demo video of what their work looks like. How on earth are they going to know if they should hire you if you don't even show what your product looks like? This is called marketing. And I always get the excuse that, well, I'm trying to get into real estate and I haven't shot any real estate videos yet. And I always say, well, then ask your parents or the rich guy down the street if you can come film his house so that you have a demo video. It takes all of a day to shoot and edit a sample video. So again, don't be lazy and make sure you have a portfolio to show potential clients what your work looks like. And if you do have a portfolio and you're still not getting hired, then that means your video skills probably need some improving. And that's obviously why we built Full-Time Filmmaker, is to help people learn how to dial in camera settings and lighting and camera movements and camera angles and composition and editing and coloring so that your videos can stand out from the crowd and give you a better chance at landing the client. People ask me all the time, isn't the video industry oversaturated already? Aren't I too late to get into the game? And I always reply with, well, yes, it's oversaturated with YouTube watching videographers, but it's wide open for those who are willing to put in more time and education and practice and mentors to work their way above the crowd of what everyone else is doing. Of course, you can learn a great deal on YouTube like you're doing right now, but I've purchased so many books and courses and gotten mentors to teach me so much more than I could ever find on YouTube, and in a much timelier fashion. Now, that's obviously a plug for my own courses, but don't stop there. I'm not a master at everything. I buy courses from other filmmakers and videographers all the time because I want to constantly be learning and developing to a level and at a pace that most are unwilling to do. If you want to be more successful than most people, then you're going to have to think and act differently and at a higher level than most people. So my advice is being willing to invest money in your education and invest time into practicing your craft in order for your work to stand out above the crowd. But moving on to our 10th and final mistake that I see video pros make, and that is that they never escape the trap of trading time for money. At its core, videography is a service industry that charges a fee in exchange for one's time to shoot and edit a video. Now, this is a great stream of revenue, and if you follow what we teach in Full-Time Filmmaker and follow the first 9 steps, there's no reason you should be making any less than 6 figures a year. As we've demonstrated, we have members making high 6 figures a year just from this one stream of revenue. But if you want to break into that 7-figure territory, which, by the way, I personally always thought was an impossible feat for myself, so I understand if you're thinking that will never happen for you. And truth is that it won't if you aren't willing to work extremely hard. But even if you work really hard, you only have so many hours in a day and days in a year. And if you charge $1,500 a day as a shooter and you get hired every single day of the year, you'd only make it halfway to 7 figures. So trading time for money is a bad strategy if you have really high income goals. You're going to have to learn how to build systems that work for you rather than you working for a system. In the book Cash Flow Quadrants by Robert Kiyosaki, which I highly recommend, he teaches you how to evolve over time in the way you make money and eventually move away from working for money and instead having money work for you. In this book, he identifies 4 quadrants or categories of how to make money. As an employee, like shooting videos for someone else's video production company or in-house video for a business. Self-employed, which is running your own video production company. A business owner, which is where you start to separate the direct correlation between your time and money, like in my example, having passive income streams like AdSense, affiliate marketing, course sales that pay me long after I put in the time because of the systems that I've set up that allow me to make money even while I sleep. And the final one is as an investor, like owning real estate and renting it out. Now, some people are happy being in the left quadrants, and that's totally great. But the point is, if you aspire to stop trading time for money, then you have to learn how to set up systems and build revenue streams that aren't tied to your time. In the Video Business Pro mini course, not only do we teach you how to make money in a wide variety of video industries, we also teach you how to move to the right quadrants by setting up revenue streams like selling stock footage, setting up affiliate marketing, building a YouTube channel, renting out your camera gear, landing sponsorships, etc. All of which are great ways to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so that while you're creating videos for a client, simultaneously you can be uploading that footage to stock sites, posting your work or behind the scenes or tutorials to YouTube, which will then lead to AdSense and affiliate marketing and sponsorships, and then renting your gear out in between shoots while you edit. And heaven forbid that you develop your own products like LUTs or transitions or title packs or courses to own and sell your own products so that you can make money while you sleep. The key to exponential income growth is to move out of quadrant 1 and 2 and into 3 and 4. Stop trading time for money. You can, of course, still choose to trade time for money, but wouldn't it be nice if you had the choice because you've taken the time to set up some revenue streams that make you enough money to not need to do the client work? Fair warning though, moving into quadrant 3 and 4 takes a lot more work than just mindlessly doing what you're told from a 9 to 5. But for those willing to put in the work, I'm here to tell you that it is possible. And the instruction manual is available in our Video Business Pro course, where we cover how to set up your business name, logo, website, entity, best practices for running your business effectively, loads of tips on how to market your business through various interviews that we've done with other successful videographers so that you can learn from more than just me, how to price your services, including our budget calculator, and we even dive into accounting and tax tips for maximizing your tax deduction and keeping clean financial records. So if you are a creative but struggle with the business side, link is in the description to start growing your business today, or again, this is also included in the main full-time filmmaker course as well. But there you have it, folks. Those are my top 10 business mistakes that I see videographers make, and there's dozens more. Those are just some of the top ones that I wanted to point out today. So self-assess, look at which one of these mistakes you're guilty of, make adjustments, and go apply them, and I promise it will yield great results in your business and allow you to start increasing your income potential. But that's it. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this, and if you have any further questions, please let me know.